Hi, my name is Ben, and this is Comic Book Breakdown episode 34.2 of Megaman Timelines, Megaman X. This issue opens up with Megaman X examining his blaster in his room. He wonders why he was given it. Is he a protector of the innocent, or a destroyer of evil? These musings are interrupted by Zero, who reports a problem from the 13th Polar region. A Dr. Kane has an excavation site there, and they have lost contact. Megaman wonders if there is a connection between this, Vile causing trouble, and Commander Sigma going maverick. They teleport to the base and split up. Megaman shoots some bad guys, he dodges some obstacles, he does some wall jumps, and discovers a hidden lab. Inside of it is a tube which, we're informed by a hologram of Dr. Light, is for Megaman X. The Doctor wanted X to be a bridge between humanity and robots. But if this message has made it into the future, then he may not be enough. Humanity will need a champion, and that's X. He steps into the chamber and is upgraded. X then travels the rest of the stage. The rest of the base, and encounters Chill Penguin. Like X, Chill was once a maverick hunter. How could he have turned on them? Megaman asks. Chill says it's out of boredom. Oh, and the chance to kill a bunch of people under an avalanche, that sounds rockin', man. Sure that Chill has lost his ever-loving mind, X fights back. He manages to beat Chill, he absorbs his shotgun ice move, and a small bit of knowledge. Zero runs in and is told that Chill contacted someone else before the fight, another character named Storm Eagle. Zero says that they should move on, but destroying Chill Penguin doesn't sit right with X. He didn't want to do that. Heck, he didn't even want to fight him. Chill just gave him no choice. Zero argues that he did have a choice, and he chose to live. When you stop fighting to survive, that's when you die. If you want to fight for peace, feel free. Just don't stop fighting. They teleport out, and a lone small figure walks into the Arctic base. It's the Met from the first Megaman Timelines issue, its helmet fixed with Megaman's own. This issue remains fairly consistent with the first Megaman-focused issue. It isn't an amazing comic, but I don't think it's a bad comic either. It doesn't suck. It is a good read. The basic premise works. I like the philosophical questioning continuing. And of course, I love artist Edwin Huang's artwork. Oh, I love his artwork. Of particular note here, Hung sets up several panels as homages to the game with a side-facing perspective. Mega Man doing the floor slide, the wall jump, or fighting enemies that are specific to this stage. From a lore Mega Man perspective, I think that the team really nails it in this issue, and it just works. There's also a real sense of melancholy to the death of Chill Penguin, and I find this interesting for a few reasons. First off, I'm amazed that I feel so much about it because Chill Penguin is so
no swearing
boring. Why are you evil? Mega Man asks. For the lols, bruh. Like, any of the style or individuality that Flame Man or Blast Man had from the first Mega Man Timelines issue is absolutely missing here. I consider this a big negative as someone who's always thought that the villain designs for Mega Man are pretty stand out. They're all really unique. They're all super specialized. Like, I love the look of Mega Man villains. But in researching Mega Man X as part of these episodes, this is Chill Penguin's motivation. While I think that it's kind of lackluster, it is accurate to the source material, so it's hard to fault them for sticking to the source material, you know? Secondly, I think that this is interesting because Mega Man X has, again, from my very general understanding of Mega Man, been considered a darker entry in the Mega Man line. Rather than the evil robots being reprogrammed or forced to turn evil by someone else, the ones who go maverick here in X choose to do that. Each one of them has their own motivation. That's inherently more interesting than just they're being controlled or they're all evil, and it adds a new wrinkle to X's relationship to them. But to trade off that self-motivation for, I'm super bored, let's kill some folks, I do think that's pretty unimpressive. So on the one hand, I like the fact that the characters are all differentiated and more standalone, but the trade-off, of course, is we only get one of those characters here, so we only get one motivation, and that motivation is Chill Penguin was bored, so he thought murdering people would be more entertaining. That's not a bad motivation, I just don't think it's very interesting. The melancholy that I feel regarding the death of Chill Penguin isn't actually for the character at all, because like I say, I find him pretty boring and uninteresting, but I do feel really bad for X. It's very clear in this issue that X and Chill Penguin were comrades. Maybe they weren't best friends, maybe they didn't go out for drinks every Friday night, right? But they knew each other, they had worked together, and now X has to kill a former friend and comrade in order to save the lives of who knows how many innocent people. X doesn't understand why Chill did this any more than I do. But he still can't let him kill people. He's going, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And he goes, for the lulz. And he's like, that's stupid and it doesn't make sense. Now I have to kill you. That's like a good, complicated narrative, but we also only get that revelation right at the end of the issue, and this is a one-shot, so we're not picking this up anywhere else. Hilariously, as part of the fallout from Megaman Timelines, Udon is currently publishing a Megaman X ongoing series, so I think this does kind of count as your technically sneaky first issue of the Megaman X ongoing series. I believe the next issue, which is actually a 0 issue, does feature Storm Eagle, so the story does continue, but it's not meant to from here. It wasn't designed to, and I have complaints about that I'm going to touch on somewhere else. Overall, for me, this is a real mixed bag of a comic book, but I do think that this issue manages to capture the moral complexity of Mega Man X, even if I do think that Chill Penguin's a pretty uninteresting villain. I like the continued through line of Mega Man questioning, why am I fighting? Why do I do the things I do? Is it worth it for me to do this? I think that's a cool through line, especially considering the character's going to continue to change and evolve as these timeline stories go on, as literally hundreds of years pass from comic to comic to comic. Next time, we will travel even more X years into the future for Mega Man 0 Timelines. If you enjoyed this episode of Breakdown, please make sure to hit that like button, and if you are not subscribed to the show, then click on that as well. I love getting feedback, and I would really appreciate it if you did so. If you have any questions, concerns, or would like to suggest a comic or a series to me, Breakdown can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and on a variety of podcast platforms, with links in the description for this episode below, as well as the email cbbreakdown@gmail.com. Thank you for your time and attention.